In this video, we are going to talk about Toshi, some of its recent price action, the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect the price of Toshi to go in the next few days and weeks. So we'll look at the weekly chart, and what we can see right here is that Toshi is in a very significant downtrend in recent months. Since late 2025, basically since October of 2025, Toshi dumped about 85% in a pretty short period of time. Recently, it is looking like the dump has been slowing down slightly, but still the fact that Toshi is still dumping despite Bitcoin and a lot of the crypto market getting a relief rally is quite concerning. Recently, Bitcoin went from about 60k all the way up to about 80k, and despite that, Toshi is still not doing so well. The best I can say is that Toshi has been consolidating, but even that isn't really the case, and Toshi is really just continuously dumping. Toshi broke down below so many important support areas. First, we had this trend line that it broke down from back in October, then this crucial support area that it broke down from in December, and now recently it broke down below the support area. That was the all-time low from back in April of 2025. In the last couple of months, Toshi has been creating new all-time lows, and right now it is very close to these areas of the all-time low. In general, despite Bitcoin recently going from 60k to 80k or so and getting a very significant relief rally, I still think that this is most likely a counter trend rally, and that Bitcoin and most of the crypto market is still in a bear market, and that in the next few months we will eventually see Bitcoin continuing to dump, and with that most altcoins will follow and probably even do much worse than Bitcoin as well, since Bitcoin is the strongest coin in the crypto market that everything stands on, and altcoins are far more fragile than it. Once Bitcoin continues dumping, most altcoins will do far worse than it as well and dump a lot more. So if that does happen, which I think is most likely, Toshi will probably continue dumping and create new all-time lows. Really, if it breaks down below this all-time low from back in February, there is no floor for Toshi and it can continue dumping basically to zero. I'm not saying it will get to zero and completely die, but I'm just saying that it can continue dumping further and further and continue to lose value. So Toshi is very risky at the moment, and especially if it does break below the all-time low. And still the structure is looking pretty horrible. I don't see any sign of a trend reversal yet. We could say that the downtrend has been slowing down, and perhaps this is the very first early sign of a trend reversal, but I'm still really not convinced, and especially since I'm quite pessimistic about altcoins in general at the moment, and I think that we are still in a bear market. I think that holding a coin like Toshi would be very risky at the moment. Of course, this isn't financial advice whatsoever. I would personally avoid being heavy into altcoins in general. I think that the chances for an altcoin season are still very low, and for that to happen, we would first need to see Bitcoin and Ethereum getting into new all-time highs, which is very far away from being the case right now. And specifically with Toshi, the price structure is still very bad. It is still very close to all-time lows, and in a downtrend, I've covered some other altcoins that actually have a far better structure that I think that do have some opportunities despite the market as a whole not doing so well, at least for altcoins, and us likely being in a bear market. But specifically with Toshi, that is not the case, and I would not bet on it at the moment. For me to even consider being into Toshi, I would first want to see it crossing this all-time low from back in April and starting to create a structure of higher highs and higher lows. If it does manage to cross that area, probably cross this previous high as well, and it starts actually getting a new structure of higher highs and higher lows, then that would be a much better sign. But at the moment, I am not seeing that whatsoever, and I think that it's also pretty unlikely that it even happens at all, at least in the short term. And even if that does happen, there are still many resistance areas. The first significant one would be this one that used to be support and then turned into resistance. This is about double from where Toshi's price is at right now. So even if Toshi gets a rally of 2x from here, I would still not be that optimistic, honestly, and I would still want to see Toshi closing a weekly candle above this area, and then potentially we could see a rally all the way up to the trend line, and that could actually be a much more significant opportunity. But all of this is still very speculative, very far away, and seems quite unlikely at the moment. As I said, I'm very pessimistic about altcoins in general and about Toshi specifically as well. If you want to see some other altcoins that do have a better structure that I've covered on the channel, make sure to check out some other videos, because there are definitely some altcoins in the market that do have some opportunities in them and look a lot better. But yeah guys, I would personally avoid Toshi. Again, not financial advice whatsoever. That's just what I would personally do. So in the next few weeks, I will keep an eye out on Toshi and see if it crosses at least this area of 0.00024 or so. If it does do that, then that would be a very first positive sign. But until that happens, I'm really not seeing any reason to be optimistic about Toshi. So hey guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about Toshi as well as other meme coins and altcoins, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.